Well, South Carolina, another dry day in the books. Another dry day in the books. As we continue on talking about these wildfires down there in Georgia, still there is some smoky conditions going on throughout the state of South Carolina right now. Our elevated fire weather, it's kind of still persisting, but not as bad as it once was. And then obviously rain chances as we get into this weekend as a frontal system approaches. I'm your meteorologist, Jesse Peterson, and let's go in and talk about the weather for your Thursday. Also, yes, I do know it is draft night. I do know a lot of people are looking at that. So I'm going to go in and try and hurry the forecast up as quickly as I can so we can hopefully get out of here in about like the next 15, 20 minutes or so, somewhere around there. But starting off, what is going on right now throughout the entire state of South Carolina? Well, right now, nothing going on. So we are good to talk. We are good over here throughout the state. But if we scroll our way out, what's going on throughout the entire U.S.? We have some rainfall going on in New York, rainfall going on up here inside of Maine, Ohio, going on in West Virginia, as well as over here inside of Pennsylvania. We do also have some rainfall with some severe weather going on. I mean, we have heavy storms going on right now with severe weather, tornado warnings, with tornadoes on the ground right now as we speak. I don't think there is one currently going on right now. If I go in and check, yeah, there is one in Kansas that's currently on the ground. Everything else is radar indicated. But I mean, we have a tornado warning right now for downtown Des Moines, Iowa. So a lot of things going on right now, all the way from Wisconsin, Minnesota, down into Oklahoma. We also do have some rainfall and some snowfall, Washington, Idaho, Montana, and then even down here inside of Colorado, the Four Corners area. Now, what about for our cloud cover? Cloud cover right now seems to be out of our hair. We don't have too much going on right now in terms of cloud cover. And if we go on and look at that cloud cover for the future, all the way throughout tonight, going into tomorrow morning, going into tomorrow afternoon, cloud cover starts to build its way through. Look at tomorrow evening. I mean, we're talking about cloudy conditions throughout pretty much most of the state. We continue through to around 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. all the way to 1 a.m. on Saturday, moving in to, this is Saturday right here, or Sunday. No, this is Saturday. Saturday at around 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, we're talking about some more cloud cover trying to move its way through. So cloud cover definitely making its presence known as we continue throughout the next 48 hours. Current temperatures right now, we're talking about 67 in Somerville, 69 Beaufort, 69 in Hilton Head Island, as well as 71 in Orangeburg, 68 in Charleston and Georgetown, 70 Myrtle Beach, 74 in Florence, and 73 in Lugoff, 70 Lancaster, and even around a good 68 in Rock Hill, 69 York and Greenville, as well as Spartanburg, 72 Clemson, and 69 in Anderson. Air quality for tonight, it does look like that we are continuing to stay inside that moderate category for our air quality. So not the worst, but make sure that you're not outside for too long tonight, especially if you have health issues, as the majority of the smoke is moving its way out. Again, the majority of the smoke is moving its way out. But, there's still that little chance, so just keep an eye out on it. Low temperatures tonight, we're talking about 57 in Greenville, Anderson, as well as 58 in Columbia, 57 in Orangeburg, as well as Sumter and Camden, 56 Kingstree, 58 Moncks Corner, and 55 in Walterboro, 64 Charleston, and 60 in Georgetown, 63 Myrtle Beach, and 64 in Hilton Head Island. High temperatures for tomorrow, we're talking about 85 in Greenville, 85 Spartanburg, as well as 88 in Columbia, 88 in Orangeburg, and 87 in Barnwell, 86 Walterboro, and 81 in Charleston, 87 Moncks Corner, and 84 in Georgetown, 80 inside of Myrtle Beach, and even 81 in Hilton Head Island. Rainfall is not expected at this time as we go throughout the next 24 hours, so we don't have anything really to talk about here. And if we go on and look at the SPC outlook, no thunderstorms for tonight. No thunderstorms tomorrow, but Saturday we do have a little risk of some thunderstorm activity as we go into Saturday, so make sure that you are aware, make sure that you are paying attention for Saturday because some thunderstorms definitely are possible. Fire weather, we are good. We don't have any sort of fire weather to really watch for, mostly. Yeah, I know we do have technically still dry conditions going on, and there still is that statewide burn ban, which is why I kind of still say that we still have to watch out for fire conditions. But for right now, the SPCA is saying there's nothing too active to really watch for here. Now, if we go on and look at the excessive rainfall outlook, no rainfall right now throughout the entire. No excessive rainfall is expected for the entire state of South Carolina as we go throughout the next 5 days. So we are good here and nothing too bad to really recap or talk about. Now for the crazy score. If you have no idea what the crazy score is, it is a score that we see how active our conditions are throughout the entire state of South Carolina. And right now we are at a 14. We're at a 14. Why? Well, mainly just because, number one, we're really just looking at nice conditions as we go throughout tonight. No rainfall. Yes, there's still some smoky conditions, still a bit dry. Still fire conditions, still that statewide burn ban. Cloud cover isn't too much of an issue, though, I will say that. And no rainfall. Pretty mild as well tonight. So let's go on and look at the models. We're going to start off here at around 9 o'clock p.m. as always. And as we just go on and push this forward, we are talking about nice dry conditions as we get throughout tonight. As we get into tomorrow, though, we're talking about tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, rainfall, shower, thunderstorm activity right now going on throughout a part of the state. Not too much, more on the isolated side more than anything. And as we continue this all the way into Saturday going into Sunday, again, not too much rainfall to really talk about. Except for just that little bit of rainfall they may try to move in on Saturday that's Friday afternoon. So we could see some isolated showers and maybe some downpours as we go into Friday. So, we'll see what happens. We will definitely see what happens here. What about for the long-term future? We're going to start off here at the 48-hour mark as we move into Saturday, going all the way into Sunday. We're talking about some rainfall trying to move its way through as we get into Sunday. That's obviously known. We were expecting that. And it's not going to be as much as we probably will receive next week. Because, see, as we get into Sunday, and then by the time we get into Monday, Tuesday comes along, and we have a good amount of rainfall, a good dose of rainfall as we go into next week. So we're definitely going to be watching out for that. And even as we go into the end parts of the week next week, we're still talking about some active rainfall conditions as we go into next week. Go all the way into Saturday going into Sunday. Look at how we get into next weekend. I mean, huge amounts of rainfall as we get all the way into that week after. Now, as we go on and move all the way through to Wednesday, going into Thursday, we still do have some rainfall that's still trying to move through on the May the 8th, May the 9th, May the 7th. And so one thing that I do want you to take away from this is definitely rainfall is on the way. We have a good amount of relief that is on the way, and we really do not have to watch out for this drought. Hopefully, for a good amount of time, once obviously most of this heavy rainfall moves through and once this drought is out. But especially these fire weather conditions as well. Fire weather conditions, I'm ready for that to go away and this burn ban to get lifted very, very soon. Very, very soon. Hopefully trying to see this fire weather conditions and the statewide burn ban get out. So this rainfall here, I mean, this is definitely great. Definitely great to see. Now, as we go on and look at our total precipitation, I obviously know it's not going to be probably the most accurate just because it's deterministic and it's 300 hours out. But, I mean, it shows around a good inch or so. And even if we go on and look at the ensembles kind of have us kind of near that same spot, maybe a bit more, around an inch or two. Probably more like a 2 to, 2.5 inches or so. So we're going to be watching for it. We're going to be watching for this rainfall event. And obviously this won't be enough to take down the drought completely. But it definitely will put hopefully a little dent in it. Now let's go on now and talk about our temperatures, because temperature-wise, it looks like that we are going to continue to stay warmer as we get throughout this week right here. But watch as how we get into Saturday going into Sunday. Look at how this cold air tries to move through. We're talking about cooler than average temperatures as we get into Monday, as we get all the way into Tuesday, going into Wednesday. We're talking about cool temperatures. Yes, cool temperatures here. All the way through Wednesday. going into Thursday, we have some warm temperatures trying to move back as we get more into the week after next week. And then cold air kind of just mixing in here and there. So that's kind of what I talked about and tipped on last night, was that it's going to be kind of just a flip-flop from warm temperatures to cool temperatures, especially when it turns from daytime to nighttime, because it looks like it's going to be more warmer during the nighttime but cooler a bit during the daytime. But, I mean, you definitely can see the change here. Not too warm and not too cold. I think that's the main thing that we can see here as we move into Sunday. Here's May the 3rd. We're talking about temperatures now around 15 to 20 degrees below average on Sunday. On May the 3rd, going all the way into Monday, still a bit cooler than average. So overall, temperatures will be all over the place. And you might be like, okay, anomalies-wise, that's, about normal. What about the actual temperatures? Well, actual temperatures, as we move into Friday, tomorrow, we're talking about highs up in the 80s. That's expected. We're talking about more highs in the 80s. But watch as we get into Sunday. Sunday, our temperatures start to go down. In fact, we're only seeing high temperatures on Monday getting into the 70s. We're not seeing any 80s. Wednesday, maybe some more 80s, but it's definitely not going to get too warm. I mean, look, even on Thursday, we're talking about temperatures, or Wednesday, excuse me. Temperatures only getting into the 60s for some of us next week. And then as we get into the week after next week, still kind of the same thing. Still just seeing some 60s and 70s, and another big cold blast maybe trying to move through as we get into the first week of May. And that's pretty much all that I can see here throughout the entire state here in terms of temperatures. Now, if we go in and look at the actual ensembles as well, ensembles are pretty good to look at as well because they show us what's going on in terms of the pattern. But if we go in and look at the mean for temperatures as we go around 200 hours out, we're going to start off as we get into next week, Saturday. We're talking about temperatures starting to drop a little bit, but they're most likely just going to stay in the 70s, maybe some 80s here and there. And then we definitely start to see temperatures start to climb back up as we get more and more into May. But that's all I have to say in terms of the long-term future. So let's go on now and talk about this, because there was not an earthquake today. There was an earthquake a couple of days ago that I had pulled up, but I guess it went away for some reason, so I just had to delay it to today. But there was a couple of earthquakes. There was one over here near Gale Mill in South Carolina. This was on April the 21st, that's Tuesday. It was a 1.7, and then there was another earthquake near Winnsboro, South Carolina, near Douglas. That is a 2.3 magnitude earthquake that occurred. And both of these happened pretty close together. I mean, one happened at 5 o'clock in the morning and one happened at 6 o'clock in the morning. So very, very early Tuesday morning, we had these earthquakes going on throughout the state. But very weak and nothing too bad to really touch on there. Now let's go on and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off with my Aunt Lula. He was here first. Tonight, she says, good evening, everyone. I pray they enjoyed their day. Today in Georgetown, we had a great day. Our high was around 83 degrees. Currently, it's 70. Today was so nice, I was able to do lots of yard work. Well, I'm glad to hear that you were able to do that today, as honestly, today was a great day to do so. Except for, maybe the smoky aspect of it. So, hopefully you are aware of that and make sure that you were, watching that very closely. Then, Ms. Tolliver's here. She says, good evening. It's been a while, but I am still here. It was a nice, sunny, hazy day at my house. The pond is very active but dry. We need rain. Sent you some pictures too. Missed my updates. Yeah, hazy day today due to the, obviously the smoke from the Georgia wildfires. And then also, yes, the pond updates. I cannot wait to see that. We'll check that out in just a couple of minutes. Then Milo says, because of this fire ban, I didn't get to burn the leaves. I got rid of them, though, without burning it. Well, that's great to hear. Yeah, please do not burn anything. I'm looking forward to the weekend rain. Then Mr. Chris says, good evening, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Absolutely no problem. No problem at all. Then Milo says, we did get a little cloudy today, but it definitely did not last long. Mr. Chris says it was a very nice day today. Got to around 86. Currently, it's around 68. Been watching the weather out west and see a tornado warnings in Iowa. Yeah, there was a big time tornado that occurred over there in Oklahoma. I think it was like Barton, Oklahoma. I think that's the area it was. But it definitely was pretty. It was a pretty big tornado over there. I think it's over now. I don't think that it's going on anymore. But it was about like an hour ago or so. Maybe not an hour ago, but 30 minutes to an hour ago or so. We saw that. Now, as we continue our way down even more, Milo says local news says something about rain shower for the weekend. Yes, that's possible. Then Mr. Chris says something is better than nothing. Absolutely. Then my cousin Cheryl says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, weatherman. It was nice today in Philly. I hope you all had a wonderful weather day today. Keep up the good work, or keep up the weather. Man, love you all. Well, thank you so much for that. And obviously, thank you so much for the weather report for where you are over there inside of Philadelphia. Miss Tolliver says, my grass looks like a bowl of crackling oats. It's looking forward to the rainfall. Then Mr. Chris says, have to cut my grass tomorrow. What about the drought monitor? Oh, you are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. Hold on, let me go in and get the poll started right now. Let me go in and do drought predictions real quick. Predictions. Number one, obviously, drought has expanded. Option number two, drought is, well, not drought is gone. Drought is shrunk / stayed the same. Then option number three, drought and abnormally dry. Hold on, let me change that. Drought gone and abnormally dry remains. And then the final one being the drought and abnormally dry is gone. Those are the options right there. Go in and vote right now if you want to be a part of that. Then my Aunt Lewis says, that's great. It wasn't a very strong earthquake. No, it was not at all. Dad says, good evening, just from the 360 Whaler family. I trust all is well. All is well with me. And then Mr. Chris says, or they're both just talking to each other. So that's all that I can see here. So we're going to talk about the drought monitor in just a second. So if you're here in South Carolina, just, wait just a little bit. Let's go on real quick and talk about the 4 areas outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, 4 areas? What am I talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 areas, is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly, and because they tune in almost nightly, we go on and give them a weather forecast for them. So as always, we start off with San Antonio first, with low temperatures tonight going to be around 72, high temperatures tomorrow at 86, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 71. Precipitation is not expected for tonight, but as you get into tomorrow, going into tomorrow night, there is a slight chance of thunderstorms. There is a slight chance of thunderstorms, so make sure that you are aware. Make sure that you are paying attention for that, just in case. And I know y'all definitely, y'all might want the rainfall. Just, depends on how much rainfall you've gotten. But the drought monitor is out, and we'll see in just a second. Do you really need the rainfall, or did it really help you out? We'll check that out. Now, in terms of severe weather, that's not expected at this time. So you have nothing to watch for there. And then in terms of your future temperatures, they're going to stay up pretty high. In fact, really tomorrow is the only day that you have to watch for in terms of rainfall. After, once you get through tomorrow, nice and dry. And temperatures are going to go all the way up into the high 90s potentially as you get into next week. Now, what about for Raleigh, North Carolina? You have low temperatures tonight at 63, high temperature for tomorrow at 88, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 63. No precipitation is expected at this time. Again, no precipitation is expected at this time until this weekend. You're going to have a rainy weekend, I will say that. You will have a rainy weekend. And then in terms of severe weather, for you, you're good. You don't have anything to watch for there. And then what about in terms of your future? Well, for your future, it looks like right now that temperatures are going to try and die down. I mean, we're talking about all the way down into the 70s. We're talking about all the way down to the 70s for your highs as you get into Sunday, as you get into Monday. Tuesday, you're talking about into the 70s. Wednesday in the 80s. Again, as you go into next week, so make sure that you are aware of that. And then, for the most part, I mean, that's pretty much about it. Maybe some rainfall possible starting to kick up as you get into Tuesday and going into the rest of the week, though. So it might be a bit active. Then for Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at around a good 53. High temperature for tomorrow at around 70, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 49. We're not talking about any rainfall for tonight or tomorrow, but tomorrow night there is a chance of showers there, so make sure that you are aware of that and paying attention. Severe weather for you, excessive rainfall for you, not expected at this time, so I would not be worried about that. And then in terms of your future, it does look like it will be a raining weekend as well for you. I mean, we're talking about Saturday 80%, Saturday night 80%, Sunday 60%. And then after that, it's going to, dry out as you get into around Sunday night going into Monday night. But then Tuesday comes along and that rain chance for you sprockets up. Temperatures for you will continue to kind of drop. We're talking about 53 for your high on Saturday, 56 for Sunday, and then you'll be to around 64 on Monday. Then finally for Duncan, Oklahoma, you're talking about low temperatures tonight at around 62, high temperature for tomorrow at 84, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at around 60. There is a slight chance of thunderstorms as you go into tonight. So make sure that you are aware. It's going to be a bit breezy tonight as well. Gusts as high as 30 miles per hour, all the way up to around 30 miles per hour tonight. Severe weather, excessive rainfall for you. Again, it's kind of weird, but, because we've been talking about how you had that chance of severe weather, but yet they had no chance of rainfall. Now it's only at 20%. So, I mean, I guess it did technically go up from last night, but it's only a 20% chance of rainfall. In fact, if I even go in and look right now, Lawton, Oklahoma is under a severe thunderstorm warning, but that looks like it's heading up towards the north and east, which would be kind of away from your area. And then if you even go in and look at just the regular rainfall and not the winter weather precipitation, which is what I was on, honestly, you may not even see a drop. In fact, you're not even in the tornado watch right now. You're not even in the tornado watch. So overall, just a lot of weird stuff going on with that. But you technically are in a severe weather risk for today. Now for tomorrow, you also have another risk. You have a 5% chance of damaging winds, a 5% hatch risk of damaging hail, meaning isolated damaging hail of up to an inch in diameter, and maybe even some isolated tornadoes. Yes, you have a 2% risk of tornadoes for tomorrow. And then we're still not done, because on Saturday, you also have another risk of severe weather as you go into Saturday. Now that one's not looking too bad either. It looks like that you're just on the marginal side of level 1 out of 5. 5% risk of severe weather, but some of it could potentially be some significant severe weather, so that's something to watch for. And then finally for Sunday comes along, and we're talking about some more severe weather here as we go into Sunday for you. So just a lot of things to talk about, but the weird thing about it is they still do not have y'all for a chance of rainfall until next week Wednesday. So we'll see what happens. Temperatures for you going to continue to be up into the 90s though. And that's what I can see here throughout the entire 4 areas. So let's go on real quick and talk about the drought update. Right now, everybody has said that the drought has expanded, and I'm going to agree with that. I don't think anybody should really think differently, because we've had pretty much almost close to no rainfall. So let's go on and get the drum roll real quick, and we will go on and reveal it. And yes, it does seem like that this is definitely an expansion, and everybody now, because there was still one spot you see down there, that tan area down there inside of Barnwell County, southern Aiken County. That area over there was a D0, now it's a D1. So everybody's now in a drought now. D3s didn't really do too much to expand. The only area that I really saw that really expanded is obviously a lot more areas got put in D2s, and then the D1 that got put here in Barnwell County, Aiken County. But again, everybody's inside of a drought. We're talking about the most needed areas of rainfall definitely is still in like Chesterfield County, Marlboro, going up the entire upstate pretty much from Spartanburg through Oconee, through Greenville, through Greenwood, through Newberry. Then down here in the Low Country, Jasper, Hampton, Colleton, Charleston, southern Dorchester, southern Berkeley. These areas all need definitely rainfall the most. But everybody else still, even if you're not in the red, you still need the rainfall as well. So if we get rainfall, be happy. Do not be upset because it ruined some outdoor plans, which I guess it does. I guess it depends on what the outdoor plans were. But, I mean, for the most part, nobody should be upset if we get rainfall. Nobody should be upset. This is what we need at this point. And then, so I want to go and check out San Antonio's as well, because Dad does want us to go in and check that out. Down here inside of San Antonio, right now, in Bexar County, not Bexar, you guys technically are still inside of a drought right now. You're in the orange still a severe drought, so y'all desperately still do need rainfall as well. Y'all desperately still need rainfall. And that's all that I can see here. I don't see anything else. So let's go ahead and give ourselves, everybody, a round of applause, because we all got it correct tonight. And here's a look at the map if you want to go in and check it. You know, southern Georgia down there, going on in, the panhandle of Florida. They definitely need rainfall, probably the most out of everybody. Northern Arkansas, parts of southern Texas, northwestern Colorado. And that's all that I have to say here. So we're going to go in and end this off for tonight. Make sure that if you've not hit the like button yet, go in and do so. Also, make sure that you go in and hit the subscribe button. We're at 729, trying to get to 800. We do have some pictures that we're going to go on and look at real quick. We'll check out what's going on with the audience one last time. We'll see the top fans, and then we will go on and end this off for tonight. We did get some pictures from Ms. Tolliver. She says, "Hey Joseph, it's been a while and I've been extremely busy. I'm going to try and tune into the weather this evening. Here are a few pictures from the parched pond in my backyard. There are a few mallards and a Canadian goose sitting in her nest, on her nest. The pond shoreline is very prominent because we have not had any rain in a while. Hope to hear you this evening." So yeah, this is what she sent in. This is not what she sent in. This is what she sent in. So thank you so much for these pictures. If you want to go in and send in a picture, you can by sending it to scweather360@gmail.com. Again, there's scweather360@gmail.com. Or you can at me on Twitter, scweather36, or that's my email, 360_weather on Twitter, 360_weather. So that's all that I have here in terms of pictures. Let's go on and see what's going on throughout the entire U.S. weather news-wise. Active spring pattern across the center of the nation with several rounds of severe thunderstorms in the forecast through the weekend. The regions under the greatest threats are in the southern plains into the Mississippi Valley. Meanwhile, dry and breezy conditions with dry fuel are aiding in wildfires across the western high plains and the southeast. Wind and some snow also for the northern Rockies. Now let's go on now and look at our next area, which is the chat. Dad says, "Can you check on the drought?" Did do that. Hoping this rain impacted a little bit. I think it probably did. But honestly, not enough to completely get rid of the drought. Then Milo says, "I do need some rain to take the dust out of the garden, and I don't need to water it every day." Yes, it has expanded. Hopefully that will change sooner than later. Yeah, it will. It will. I mean, trust me, we're getting more into an active pattern. That drought should be going down. But that's all that I have to say. So top fans of the night for tonight. Go ahead and count them up. I see around 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then I see around a good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Or no, just 10, excuse me. And then I see around, I'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So seems like Milo's at number 1, Mr. Chris at number 2, and then Miss Tolliver's at number 3. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans of the night for tonight. Let's go on and give them 3 a round of applause. If you want to be a top fan, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, joining us here early, being a subscriber, and being active. If you do all of those, you most likely will be at the top. But that's all they have to say. I said I was going to be out here hopefully as early as I can. And, we didn't do too bad. But that's all. Make sure you tune back in tomorrow morning with your Friday morning forecast update. Also tomorrow evening with your Friday evening forecast update. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit those two buttons before you leave if you're new.